Hello guys, and welcome back to my next tutorial. In this one, what we're going to be doing is making the UI update every time we switch to a new light source. To do this, we're going to be using a widget switcher, some event dispatchers, and a few more new concepts. Now, first thing that we're going to want to do is go to where we add our HUD, and we're going to promote this to a variable. We need to do this now, so we can set the event dispatcher on it in a moment, and we can get on with the tutorial. Now, you might be wondering to yourself, what exactly is an event dispatcher? Now, an event dispatcher is basically a way for you to say, okay, I want to call this event, but I want it to happen on multiple blueprints or trigger multiple events. And it will do that, and so you just have to call one event dispatcher instead of multiple events at the same time. And it's just a really nice, neat way of making sure that your events happen at the right time. We're going to use this so that we can switch light sources really easily on our HUD. And the signature we're going to make in a moment. A signature is basically the parameters and the arguments that the parameters and arguments are basically the same thing, except parameters are in the definition, and arguments are what those parameters are when you call that function, I think. Now, we're going to make a custom event. I'm going to call mine switch source. And we are going to need to add a input, and this input is going to be active light. Okay, it's a bit dark where I am, so I can't really see the keyboard that well. I do apologise. Active light source, and this is going to be type light. Why did it light? Okay, light source this is, and if you compile that and go to the switch light source, copy signature, and you should see, if you scroll down, switch source, which is the custom event we just made here, and that should now have the same inputs as this event here. If you go compile it, go back to the third person character, and go to where you switch your light source. I've got mine bound to the number keys. If you drag out your HUD variable, which is get, and drag out over here switch, and we want to call switch light source. Now the active light source is going to be the variable that we've got here, and we want to make sure that it's called, that all points go towards it. Now if we compile that now, go back to the HUD, and what we need to do now is bind an event to it, and just drag that into there. Now what do we want to do when we switch the source? We want the UI element to change to reflect that. To do that, go to the designer, go to the flashlight, wrap with widget switcher. Make sure you don't hit the stamina. I did that before and I had to re-record this entire tutorial, which was fun. And so the widget switcher is there. Go back to the graph. We grab a reference to that, which is get active set active widget index. Drag that into there. Now you might be wondering, how do we change an enum to an integer? And the answer to that is to int byte, like that. Now you might be wondering, why do you want to do that? And the question is, well, sorry, the answer is because since enums are basically the basically, Enum's hard to explain, but what this will basically do is it will take in the flashlight or the night vision or the flare, and it will generate, okay, on that Enum, where is it? So for the flashlight it'll be 0, because remember computers count from 0, the night vision will be 1, and the flares will be 2. The index is what we're going to be switching on. That makes sense. So if you choose, for example, the night vision, then it will switch the widget from the flashlight or the flares to the night vision, which is what we want to do. So if we go back out here and just duplicate the flashlight and call it night vision, and just open it up. If you're wondering what that source control is all about, I'm using GitHub to store this, so I have a backup whenever I need it. If you want me to go through a quick tutorial on how to use GitHub, I can. Just leave me a comment below and I'll see it and know what you guys want me to do. So you should see the get %0 function if you go to the graph. If you don't, then just watch my flashlight tutorial. This is what we need to do. We need to drag off the player reference and we need to type in NV charge and NV max charge, and just replace these variables here. So if we compile it, go back to the HUD, set the HUD, and if we go to the widget switcher, we should see down here a night vision, and if we drag it into there, and that should now switch it between the two, depending on what button you press. For the last and final UI element today, we're going to add in the flares. Now the flares is a bit different. If my right click will work, come on. The flares are a bit different in that they don't have a charge, they have a number of how many are left. So to do that, I will show you how to append strings. So as always, get rid of the canvas panel and get a size box. And this is where it goes a bit different. You need a text size box. We're going to change the width and height to keep it consistent, 250 by 150. And we're going to change it from fill screen to the side. Now the text, we can switch there. We go. If we bind it, create binding, and we drag this out. We need the player reference as well. Drag that in. Now we need to get the number of flares. And we're going to just cast this to a string. So how do we get it so that it shows off the UI appropriately? I mean, as in, get it so that it says flares and then shows the number of flares. And that's quite easy to do. We need an append string. And, well, the string and the text is very easy to convert to. There is a difference between text and strings and names. I will go through them in a future video. I'm planning on doing a data types video at some point in the future. Stick around for that. So the number of flares is going to go into B, and in A we're just going to type in flares colon spacebar, and there we go. Choose compile, go back to the HUD and just add in that to the widget switcher, and compile it once more, go back out, and this should now work. Please don't crash. I should have saved it before I played it. Hey, there we go. If I go to the flashlight, turn it off, on. If I scroll up, you can see that it scrolls up. It's on the right hand side, remember. The night vision, if I start moving around, it should start recharging. And I've made a bit of a mistake here, I've just realised that. I didn't set the player reference on either one of those, so it's just going to remain null. So player players set player reference. I swear I keep making that same mistake. I need to stop. Git set player reference. Get all in line. And now let's try it. So if I start moving around with night vision off, oh sorry, I'm on flashlight mode. Now I'm on night vision, and it's still not working. If I go to the flares, but I've got flares. Why aren't they? This is not good. Because I'm still not setting the player reference. I'm setting it to null. That's why. This is not good. Save it. Am I definitely saying that the flares can ignite? Because I did notice that they weren't lighting up. Yeah. I'll have a little look around for that. If you guys are having similar problems, let me know. I'll try and figure it out. Because the night vision start moving around, you can see that it actually does regenerate this time. If I stop moving, it'll stop. If I go to the flares, you can see that it decreases every time I do that. So yeah, pick up the battery and go to the flashlight, reload. There we go. And it decreases every time I use this. There we go. So that is how you make a simple UI a bit more complicated in Unreal, so that it has all of the light sources, and you can also expand this to include more things. We're going to be using the widget switcher a lot more for different things. I'm planning on making a pause menu using it as well. I might even expand upon this simple HUD a little bit as well. It's a bit simple for my liking, and we might include some pictures or images for the progress bars, make some custom fonts for the text, just a load of other cool stuff. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Please leave any suggestions and feedback for me in the comments below, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. Goodbye.